This book right here is low-key changing my life right now, and I'm going to tell you why. Obviously, that's the purpose of this video. I'm not just going to tell you that it's changing my life and then not go into any details whatsoever. But for context, I want to say that I am a full-time book influencer. This is what I do full-time. I don't have any other day jobs. I have multiple sources of revenue within my business, but books is my business, and business is good. And how I started, really, like how I was able to build this up over time was, by following an approach that was very, very similar to the one that she outlines and recommends in the book. Like the title would suggest, it's tiny experiments. And I'm telling you, I lived this approach for years and years and years. And any sort of like the resulting success that I've experienced, and really, honestly, like we're being brutally honest here, it's only been in the last. Okay, so I've been doing this for like part time for maybe 6 or 7 years, publishing stuff on the internet with the intention of, going full time eventually. Like I've been doing it for quite a while. Maybe 3 years ago, I started to kind of get a sense that, yeah, I could actually do this. Like it could actually work. I could, literally do this full time. About 2 years ago, I kind of got more serious. Last year, I've been, obsessed. And this year was basically, or like late last year was the first time that I broke into the 5K per month barrier or limit, I guess. I broke into that new territory. I was able to leave my other job and, do this like full time. And, I didn't like, yes, I set it as a goal, but her approach in the book is all about learning in public and approaching things in a sort of, intentional imperfection kind of way. This leads me into how it's changing my life now because, even though I'm this far, one of the things that's I haven't been putting nearly as much effort into YouTube as I wanted to. Like I see the potential, I see the massive opportunity for for business growth, for like authority building, audience relationship building. Like if you spend, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but if you spend 10 15 minutes with somebody, every week, multiple times a week, you're going to become closer to that person. You're going to trust that person. But those are some of the reasons that YouTube is fantastic for growing a business. And I didn't, like I said, I just didn't put in the requisite effort and like the intentional effort. And a lot of it wasn't like fear or like a paralyzing like perfectionism, right? It was more so that I didn't have the time to to create something that was like up to my like highest standards of excellence. It was like an all or nothing thing whereby if it wasn't this grand production thing that was like the best possible thing that I could create at this moment, I wouldn't do it, right? Like I would either publish something like that took like 10 plus hours of filming and scripting and editing and everything like that, or I wouldn't publish at all. And I erred more on the side of not publishing at all, which is kind of stupid if you want to grow on YouTube, which is like how you do that is by publishing videos on YouTube. And like they don't have to be perfect. And you see this in videos that have like literally millions and millions of views, and it's just somebody talking like I am right now. And I'm not saying this is gonna get like tons of views or anything like that, but YouTube's fantastic for that. It's all about building these authentic relationships and just showing up as yourself to talk about the things that you're extremely passionate about, which in my case and probably yours is books, right? So this is my sort of tiny experiment. What I'm going to be doing, basically, for the next like foreseeable future, but at least until the end of 2025. That's another 6 months, and I'm going daily on YouTube. And like that's a bigger pact, as she would call it. It's like a medium-sized experiment, not quite tiny experiment. But that's what I'm doing, right? Daily videos on YouTube. And I'm not going to put this unrealistic pressure on myself that everything's going to be highly produced. It's going to be this like fantastic production that's just going to be perfect or as perfect as I can make it. I'm just going to get it out. And these are going to be authentic videos. That's something that I've always done. I've never come up here and tried to be someone that I'm not. But even more so, like I'm doubling down on the realness, the authenticity, the like, hey, I love talking about books. Maybe you do too. Maybe we can be friends, right? So that type of thing. So daily videos, which is like literally changing my life. I mean, it is a change in my life, the way that I do things. It's a tiny experiment that I'm really looking forward to incorporating into my life and my business. I think it's going to be fantastic. And in the spirit of tiny experiments, I'm not going to set like Okay, I will, and I'm not. Like, I'm not going to set these massive goals that like are like do or die. Absolutely must reach them no matter what. But I'm going to set goals for myself, and these are things like reaching 5,000 subscribers by the end of July. I have different audience goals like that, but really, my conditions for success for this tiny experiment are just publishing daily videos on YouTube. And there's a bunch of things that I'm going to be doing that will help me with this. Batching videos is going to be super helpful as well. So like I'll record 3 or 4 videos, maybe a week's worth of videos all in one day. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. That's how tiny experiments is changing my life here. But the book itself is fantastic. I just finished it this week, and I highly recommend it. It's really quite special. It's one of the better books that I've read so far this year. Up there as well, the 5 Types of Wealth by Sahil Bloom. One of my like that's top 3 no matter what. That book's fantastic. Another one is Mastery by George Leonard. That is phenomenal. I've read a bunch of books by one of my favorite or new favorite authors right now, Neville Goddard. There's another one that changed how I think about self-discipline, and that's this one. It's called The Dark Side of Discipline by Craig Ballantyne. And his insight, I guess, which is really quite interesting when you think about it. Like I can't stop thinking about self-discipline in this way. He like his definition is that self-discipline is putting level 10 effort into solving your level 10 problems. The way he describes it is like you could do everything right. You could read a book a week, you could get 8 hours of sleep per night, you could drink 2 gallons of water a day. But if you have this sort of massive gambling problem or whatever, and you're not addressing that, then you're undisciplined. Like addressing that massive problem, that addiction in your life is your level 10 problem. And you're putting level 1, level 2 effort into solving it. You're not doing anything, right? You're drinking water and reading books. So the dark side of discipline, definitely changing the way I think about self-discipline. And there's another book that I reviewed recently this year, and I just want to mention it really quick. And it's a fantastic leadership book called Passion Struck by John Miles. And he's just one of those guys that he's such a good influence, online. And if you follow him, like if you curate your feed so that it's full of people like him that are putting out positive messages, like your life almost can't help but get better. He and I have gotten to become friends. I really appreciate the work that he does. This book is fantastic. It's called Passion Struck. Like I said, I'll put links to all of these books down in the video description. I'm working on my notes for tiny experiments. I just finished it, so right now they're just on my phone. Then I transfer them to my computer, and then I type them all out and share them, write a summary, all that. So I'm going to do that. I haven't done that yet, but I have done that for The Dark Side of Discipline. So I'll put those book notes down in the video description. I'd also love it if you join me in this YouTube experiment and daily videos about books. As of right now, I've read about 1,400 books, a little less than that, 1,392, what have you. And then basically on here in my newsletter, places like that, I go through all of the best ones that I've read. I share the best of what I've been reading and learning. And the main places I do that are here on YouTube now because of my experiment, and my newsletter, which has about 7,200 people, and Instagram, where I'm at 116,000, which was actually a big reason why I was able to go full time, having that massive audience of people who trust me for book recommendations. And then, of course, if you're an educational content creator, you want to go full time, you want to scale your reach, revenue, and reputation, I've also got a private business mastermind on School, and it's called Creator Launch Academy. We've got tons of fantastic educators and creators. These are content creators with newsletters, books, YouTube channels, LinkedIn audiences, coaching programs, like all of that stuff. We're growing them all together. And that's where I share everything that I'm learning about, going full time, myself as a book influencer, but also as an online business person. And, there's a ton that I don't know yet. If I knew everything that I needed to know, then I would be at $100,000 a month right now. I'm only at 5, but I'm growing it, piece by piece. I'm growing it in public, in the spirit of tiny experiments. So that, again, is the first link in the video description. Thanks for watching this video. YouTube thinks you'll like this video right here. It's called 10 Fascinating Books That Will Increase Your Intelligence. And always remember these 2 things. Bookmarks are for quitters. Even if nobody else believes in you, I do.
I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating. Yeah.